Beautiful people, and welcome back to Pointing You to Jesus. If it is your first time, welcome. Welcome to the channel where we just want to point you back to Jesus, regardless of whatever direction it is that your life is taking, because we believe that God is able to meet you right there where you are. And in turn, of course, you can also point those around you back to Jesus, the source of all hope. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and become a part of this wonderful family. And let's get into it. Today is another session of the Lockdown Diary sessions, and it is day 84 of 21. Day 84 of 21. But who cares? At this point, who cares? Let's get into what really is the point of this video today. So this lockdown has taught me so many things. It has forced me to deal with so many things, and I guess today we'll just be doing a bit of a mental emotional health check. I don't know what to call it. What this lockdown ultimately has taught me is that running away from your feelings, running away from your emotions is not a great thing to do, because they will catch up with you, and when they do catch up with you, it ain't gonna be cute. That is the one of the biggest things that this lockdown has taught me. So personally, I am someone who does not want to come face to face with my emotions, with how I feel and all of that. It's basically how I've sort of like been all my life growing up. I've always just swept things under the rug and just put them in the store and be like, yeah, we will not be dealing with that. So for someone who's such a good listener to other people's problems and gives such good advice, if I can say so myself, but when it comes to me, I just don't know how to take care of myself. I don't know how to take care of my emotions, how I feel, and all of that. So ultimately this lockdown was like, baby girl, ha, joke's on you. You are going to deal with the things that you've always just swept under the rug. Before this lockdown, I was good. I was doing good in this life thing in terms of just sweeping things under the rug, because I could easily do other things. I could go out, I could go to church, I could go to my friends' rooms and rest, and I could do it. Like I was on survival mode. I could do it. But and then this lockdown started, and there's really so much you can do. Like beginning of this lockdown, probably the first 21 days, like the way it was supposed to be, the initial 21 days of lockdown. It was a very rough time for me. Mainly because I just didn't know how to deal with what was going on. My anxiety was at such a peak. I was having anxiety attacks every second day. My emotions were just all over the place. I would wake up in the morning and immediately I would have such a weight on my shoulders. Immediately I'd have negative thoughts. Immediately my mind was just spiraling out of control. And for the longest time during the for the longest time during those 21 days, I just didn't know how to deal with this. What do I do with this? Like, what do I do? Like behind this a big smile, behind this very loud laugh, I was literally just breaking. I was breaking at every moment, basically. Like I read, someone tweeted that so many of your childhood traumas catch up with you in your 20s, and I could very much so verify that and agree with that 110%, because the many things that of my life and everything, I sort of just put them away because I didn't want to deal with them, because they were just too much, they were just too hard, and I just developed a coping mechanism. Put them under the rug, close that door and never get into it. But then what you don't realize is that the more you put them in that room, the more harder it is to gonna have to deal with them. I don't know if I'm making sense, but how hard it is to deal with them when you finally open up that door. And slowly, that door was literally breaking because there was just too much in that room. And finally, it sort of just burst open, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I honestly had no idea how to deal with everything that was going on. Another thing is that I I couldn't talk about what I was going through with my friends. I with my family, I couldn't talk about it. I hate confrontation. Like at the at any point in time, if there's an indication that there's going to be a confrontation, I am at the door. Honey, I'm not doing this. I am not. During that time, my faith was severely tested. I could say that it was severely tested. Also because like beginning of the lockdown, like I said in the I think the first video of the lockdown sessions, I had prayed that, you know what, God, we've been going on this journey together, but I think it's unfair for me to deal with a certain portion of my life and to keep this certain door closed. Of me, it's very unfair of me on you, because this is supposed to be a reciprocated relationship. All the things that I've just closed the door on and everything, I want to give it to you as well. And when I say be careful of your prayers, because God always comes through. He came through for your girl. But I'm grateful for the progress thus far on this day 84. Still can't believe it. But anyway, so I think the biggest thing I've learned is that thus far is that I have to feel. I have to allow myself to feel, which is something that I've always struggled with. Like I don't want to feel, basically. I've had so many losses in my life. I've had so many disappointments. I've had so many things go on in my life, and I guess I came to a point in my life where I was just like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I honestly don't. So I'd rather adopt this coping mechanism of do not even try to feel, you know? So I ultimately just made the decision to stop feeling, and I did. I stopped feeling. Yes, there were things obviously that would pick at that and I'd feel a little bit, but I wouldn't allow myself to completely feel, like be wrecked and everything. So I decided that I have to feel, I have to allow myself to feel, face what I'm feeling, and ultimately conquer whatever it is that has my mind in bounds. So I decided I'm done. I'm done giving my mind so much power over me. I'm done giving um everything else so much power over how I feel, how I wake up in the morning and immediately start feeling. Like I was like, I'm done with this. I do not want to feel like this anymore. So that was me accepting, like that was me allowing God in, just allowing him in, because we when you accept Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior name, in Revelation it is, they paint this picture of your heart being a house, and Jesus is constantly knocking on the door of your heart so that you can open the door and allow him in. But what I've learned is that this house, that is my heart, it has rooms in it, just like any other house, just like any other home. It has rooms in it, and I have to allow God into every single room. If I allowed him into the house via the kitchen, the lounge, and the bathroom, surely I can also let him in into my bedroom, where that is the place of my of security, my place of, I can feel in this room and break down in this room and not even feel a tinge of of shame or of embarrassment or anything like that. So I had to let him in into every single room. So with that being said, I let him in, and it's been quite a journey. It's been quite a process. And it's also that, and what I've also learned about allowing myself not to feel, about not feeling, is that numbness is not selective. If I decide that I'm gonna be numb to this certain pain, this certain sorrow, this part of my life, ultimately, as time goes on, that numbness is going to start overlapping into even the joyous parts of my life, where I am happy, where my happy place, where I'm happy, where I'm full of joy, where I am just a happy girl, a happy 20 something girl. Numbness ultimately is going to overlap into those places of my life as well. And ultimately, I will be a numb girl. So that is something that I realized, because I was starting to not even be the happy girl that I have always been. So, with that being said, I allowed God in and we started feeling stuff, and it was not cute, but it is a journey that I am absolutely loving. Like, I am genuinely loving right now. The sun is coming through, and I can assure you, probably the sun kissedness is just, I don't know. Anyway, God also revealed to me why, also asked me, why is it that I don't want to let myself feel? Because even Jesus, the Messiah, Jesus, the Son of God, allowed himself to feel. He broke down on so many occasions. He broke down, he wept when he found out that Lazarus was dead. He wept and was so full of sorrow in the Garden of Gethsemane before he was crucified. He allowed himself to feel. And ultimately, I guess what I'm trying to say is that Jesus, I don't have to make it, I don't have to pretend to have my life together. I don't have to pretend to have it all together. Like, there's nothing that phases me. There's so many things that phase me that literally put me on my knees crying. So I had to realize that I don't have to have it all together. I don't have to be afraid. If I'm afraid of letting people in, I don't have to be afraid of letting God in, because he is the author and finisher of my faith, because he wants me just as I am, with all my sorrow, with all my brokenness. He wants me just as I am, and he wants me to be honest about this, how I am. He wants me to be honest and come to him and be like, God, this is how it is, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, and this is how I am, but I know that you can make it all the better. You can turn these ashes, you can turn beauty from ashes. So here I am, God. He doesn't want me to have it all together, be all perfect and whatever, but he just wants honesty from me. He wants honesty from me. His word says that his grace is sufficient and enough for me in every situation, in every whatever season of my life. His grace is sufficient for me every day of my life. His grace is sufficient for me. In my weakness is where I am actually strong. God comes through and he makes himself known to me. He reveals himself more to me in my weakness. He reveals just how powerful he is in my weakness. Proverbs 14 verse 13 says, laughter can conceal a heart, but when the laughter ends, the grief remains. So no matter how much we try to hide things, no matter how much we try to laugh it off, at the end of the day, when I come back and lay on my bed before I sleep, I will think about it. I will feel the grief. I will feel whatever it is that I'm supposed to feel. So just let God in. Just let God in, and don't be afraid to, as much as even me, I was like, my friends won't understand. My family won't understand. They just won't understand. No one will understand. But that is just a lie that the devil wants to keep telling us, and let it take root in us. Because if we don't share anything that we're going through, we are going to be going through this life thing alone. We are going to be going through this life thing alone. No man is an island. Jesus in all his glory walking on this earth, he had disciples with him. He had a group with him. He had his own little community. This life thing, walking with Jesus, isn't doing life alone. Just because you have God living in you, you want community, you want witnesses, you want people that will also help you to go through things, that will help you to navigate your way through life. God speaks to us in so many ways. He speaks to us through our friends, through our families, through even through the people that we don't necessarily like. He speaks to us through them. He speaks to us in so many different ways, and he wants to also get through to you. He wants to help you through other people. So you always just clouding yourself and just not clouding, you just always keeping yourself detached from other people, ultimately always just also pulls you further into that dark hole that you are trying to so desperately to get away from. So yeah, let's not be afraid to let God in. God is the only one that can actually do something about what you're currently going through. Just go to him. The best thing about God is that you don't even have to have the words. You don't even have to have the words to say to him. He knows your heart. He sees you. He sees what you're going through. He knows your heart. He knows the intentions of your heart when you come to him. So just say to him today that it can be the most shortest prayer ever. Just cry out his name and just see him working in that moment to comfort you, to help you, to tell you which direction to go to. So yeah, feel, face, and conquer. So yeah. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the likes, for the subscriptions. Thank you so much, and give this video a massive thumbs up if you liked it, and of course share this video with your family, share this video with your friends, with your lecturers. I don't know, share this video in your class group, share it, and just let other people in. Just point others around you back to Jesus via this video. Please do subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, and click on that notification bell so that you do not miss a video that I post. And I'll see you guys in the next lockdown diary session.